This is right up my alley. This is right up my alley because it is a movie with a character who can't feel pain. I've been down this road before and it was awesome. The world is not enough. I love that you're inspiring other movies. Yes. Still better than Tomorrow Never Dies, Pat. I'm sorry.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Novocaine is coming out this week in theater, stars Jack Quaid, Amber Midthunder, and Ray Nicholson, who throughout the entire movie, I was wondering, I've seen this guy before. Who is that? And then in the end credits came on and it said Ray Nicholson. I was like, oh yeah, that's Jack Nicholson's son. Novocaine follows Nathan Kane, played by Jack Quaid. He's a loner. He's just a guy who plays video games in his apartment all day because he's been bullied in high school because he has this disorder where he can't feel pain. He is Renard from The World Is Not Enough. This is a sleeper sequel to The World Is Not Enough, and I could not be more happy. It's really not. I'm just really giddy that somebody took that premise from an underrated Bond film and put it into another movie. It's awesome. He's also a bank manager, and he has the hots for a coworker of his named Sherry, played by Amber Midthunder. They go on a date, and then a couple days later, the bank gets robbed. She gets taken hostage. He goes on an adrenaline-induced spree to try and get her back. All the while, he's taking knives through the hands. He's taking arrows through the legs. He's getting punched and kicked like no tomorrow, and he can't feel a single thing, and it is a really fun time at the theaters. I had a lot of fun with Novocaine. The gimmick never wore old for me. I think a lot of that has to do with the charm of Jack Quaid. I know that the common consensus with Jack Quaid is that he's very typecast. It feels like he's always playing Huey from The Boys and everything he's in, but I felt like he kind of went against that in this movie, and that really helped the gimmick not feel old because he has a lot of charm. He has a lot of good comedic timing. Not all of his jokes land, I'm not going to say that, but when they do land, they are really funny and they really play into the idea that he can't feel pain. Like, it's really hilarious. Like, some of this stuff that he has to do in here, for instance, he's in the kitchen of a restaurant, he's fighting a thug, he has to put his hands into a boiling fryer with boiling water and get the gun out, and his hands are legitimately burned and he can't feel the pain. It's really fun stuff like that where he's just like, oh yeah, this is normal. But honestly though, like, this is the type of movie I've been missing from theaters for a while. I know within the last 10 years we're starting to kind of get these movies back, like John Wick, Nobody, but I feel like it's been a while, man. I mean, maybe since John Wick 4, but even then, John Wick is like building out its like comic book-esque world, which is fine, but it never overcomplicates itself, which is something I will always give credit to John Wick for. But it is a world-building franchise. Novocaine is just playing it simple and it's playing it safe, which for some, that is gonna be to the detriment of the movie, but to me, that's the benefit of the movie because so many action movies nowadays, released mainly on streaming services, focus on the fact that, oh, there's so many moving parts to the plot. It is so jam-packed with plot. There's so many twists and turns. There's so many allies that end up being villains that you can guess right off the bat, 10 minutes into the movie, that they're gonna betray the main protagonist of the movie, and then everything just gets caught in a web of plot where everything just feels like it's trying to coalesce with everything and everything's just trying to connect. And in the end, while the actual story makes sense, like everything, because there's so many plot points, so many characters, everything just gets lost in the shuffle to the point where it feels so confusing when it's actually really not. That's what every action movie on Netflix feels like it's trying to do. That's what every action movie on Amazon Prime feels like it's trying to do. That's why I'm actually really excited about the fact that Novocaine took a simple and safe approach to it, and because I feel like that's what we need. It's simple, it's effective, it's efficient. It's really just trying to tell the story that it is trying to tell, with a really charming lead in Jack Quaid, with some really good comedic timing and a real fun gimmick that never gets old after a while. And I will say, there are some heartfelt moments in this movie between him and Sherry, played by Amber Midthunder. There are some really, really good things that they touch upon here. There are a couple of heartfelt moments between the two of them, and I couldn't help but be like, oh, that's actually kind of sweet, you know? Back to what I was saying, I just miss movies that were so simple like this, man, especially R-rated action movies. Not afraid to get gory. Some really good kills in here, some really cool ways to kill the thugs in this movie. And I just miss R-rated action movies like this, like John Wick, like Nobody, that aren't afraid to get down and dirty, that aren't afraid to get their hands bloody. They're not afraid to show the blood. Sometimes there might be an R-rated action movie or action thriller that has like a couple of blood splats, but it's mostly rated R because of the language, because they drop an F-bomb every 5 seconds or something. But no, this one had the F-bombs, this one had the action, it had the really good kills as well. It's a movie where you obviously have to suspend your disbelief, but it is here just to entertain you. And I haven't really commented on that in a lot of movies because when I'm watching a movie, of course I'm suspending my disbelief. I mean, obviously, do you think of a man in an Iron Man suit is realistic? I mean, it could be in the future at some point. But of course, I'm suspending my disbelief. But I think suspending my disbelief for a movie like this in particular makes it so much more entertaining. And the movie does its job. It entertains you. That is what it is trying to do first and foremost, and it succeeds at that. There were a couple moments, though, towards the end of the movie where I think the script wears itself a little bit thin, where I'm just like, okay, now I really can't suspend my disbelief because there are character choices, especially made by Amber Midthunder's character, where I'm just like, what? No. No, don't do that. It's almost like she's having a back and forth in her mind as to what she's going to do. And I get that that's probably the purpose of the character because the character is supposed to have a conscience. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. Like, I like the direction that this movie was going. And then it tried to make it feel a little bit too much like we were going for more of a realistic approach in those last 20 minutes, despite still being really over the top and entertaining, especially with Amber Midthunder's character. There's way too many character decisions I think that she makes towards the end of the movie that really feel like they just conflict with everything that we've seen in the movie so far. But it is still a really fun time. And speaking of Amber Midthunder, I did not like her in this movie. I don't think that she was that good in this movie. And that's saying a lot because I loved her as Naru in Prey, the prequel to Predator. Thought she was really, really good in that. She had a lot of kinetic energy. In this, she just comes off as flat. But hey, you know what? She is damn cute. So that's a bonus right there. In the end, I really liked Novocaine. I dug the gimmick. It never got old for me. Had a lot of charm, had a lot of entertainment value to it. That is what this movie was setting out to do. Just entertain you first and foremost. It keeps it simple. It keeps it efficient. It never has a string of different plot points that try to confuse the hell out of you like every action movie on a streaming service does nowadays. I had a lot of fun with Novocaine, and I really enjoyed Novocaine with 3/4 of a bucket of popcorn. I don't think I'm going to look back on this movie as one of the best movies of the year, but if it does end up in my top 10 or at least an honorable mention, it'll be because it was so fun and because it was so entertaining. So if you guys have seen Novocaine, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. I will leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I will see you at the movies somewhere.